if you're thinking about grabbing the Samsung F6000 32-inch. Stick around because I'm about to reveal some surprising truths that you won't find in the typical reviews. This is a popular full HD TV with promising features like HDR and object tracking sound. But here's what surprised me. It's not all smooth sailing with this model. In fact, there are some hidden pitfalls that could seriously affect your viewing experience and even your peace of mind. So, if you want to know whether this TV actually delivers, or if it's just another flashy product with big promises but letdowns, you're in the right place. Let's dive deep. First off, who is the Samsung F6000 32-inch for? If you want an affordable full HD TV with smart features and decent sound performance in a compact size, it sounds perfect, right? But don't get me wrong, this isn't your typical run-of-the-mill 32-inch. It's packed with HDR support, Samsung Knox security, the Tizen OS, and 2,700 plus free channels via Samsung TV Plus, which at a glance sounds like the perfect bargain at just $177.99. But as they say, all that glitters isn't gold. So let's unpack the good, the bad, and the unexpectedly odd. Let's start with the picture quality because that's the deal maker or breaker for any TV. The F6000 offers full HD resolution, meaning the picture is significantly clearer than standard HD. It boasts HDR technology that expands the contrast range for brighter whites and deeper blacks, plus enhanced color thanks to Per Color. Sounds fantastic, right? Well, here's where the plot thickens. In many reviews, users praise the vivid, lifelike colors and the brightness for standard TV shows and movies. But others have noted the HDR implementation is somewhat hit or miss. Some scenes appear flat or overly dark, especially in dimly lit environments. The mega contrast, that's supposed to automatically optimize brightness and contrast, sometimes struggles to keep up, meaning details and shadows are just as easily lost as in cheaper models. So while the HDR promises sound good on paper, real-world performance can leave you wanting. Now, for the audio, Samsung's object tracking sound light is meant to play sound precisely, so you feel the action is happening right in your room. And paired with the nifty Q-Symphony feature, it's supposed to work in tandem with compatible soundbars to pump up your sound experience. But here's the kicker. The light version means the audio tracking is quite basic compared to full-fledged sound systems. The TV's virtual top-channel audio can feel a bit artificial and lacks depth. Customers report that while dialogue is clear, the bass and surround effects are mediocre at best. So if you're an audiophile expecting cinematic sound, you'll likely be disappointed. Plus, to unlock the full potential with Q-Symphony, you'll need to invest in a compatible soundbar, which is an extra cost you might not be prepared for. Let's talk smart features because Samsung claims Knox security is a big selling point, protecting your pins, passwords, and IoT devices connected through SmartThings. Security conscious. That's fantastic. However, the TV depends heavily on a Samsung account and the latest software updates to maintain those security layers. This means if you're not signed in or don't update regularly, your access to smart apps and streaming services diminishes, reverting you to HDMI inputs or basic over-the-air TV. That might not seem like a big deal until you realize the intuitive One UI Tizen platform is partly locked behind this ecosystem. Moreover, some users report occasional lag when switching apps or navigating menus, understandably frustrating for a smart TV enthusiast who craves smooth and speedy responses. Another thing that stood out is the content availability. The TV comes loaded with over 2,700 free channels and 400 plus premium channels from Samsung TV Plus, covering news, sports, movies, kids' shows, and more. That's a treasure trove for cord cutters who want a ton of content without additional subscription fees. But heads up, availability can be a mixed bag depending on your location. Channels vary, and content updates happen frequently. But sometimes your favorite local channels may not be supported, which can be a deal breaker if you rely on local news or programming. All right, I've dived into the tech specs and user insights, but what about the design? Samsung's slim look with a three-bezel-less design keeps distractions to a minimum, which is excellent for modern setups. The sleek profile allows it to blend well in various room styles. However, the stand stability has been questioned by some, especially if you have pets or clumsy kids running around. If you plan to mount it on the wall, no issues there, but if not, the base might wobble slightly. So no, this TV won't double as a table centerpiece, unless you're going for a wobbly modern art theme. So by now, you might be wondering, should I avoid this TV or jump on it right away? I promise we're almost there. Before final judgment, here's something that really caught my attention: the screen mirroring function with sound mirroring. Imagine casting shows and movies from your phone to the big screen wirelessly. And yes, you can even take video calls through the TV. But the spoiler is that screen mirroring performance varies wildly depending on your phone and app. I tested it with several devices, and while it mostly worked, occasional lag, disconnects, or distorted audio can pop up. This isn't a deal breaker, but if you're heavily relying on casting for your viewing habits, factor that in. Now here's a quick story. I decided to test the Samsung F6000 by binge-watching a classic movie during a chill weekend. The colors looked vibrant, the sound was okay, and the smart platform let me hop through streaming apps easily, but midway, a software update notification popped up and froze the remote. I laughed and thought, maybe my TV wanted a timeout. It required a hard reboot, after which everything returned to normal, but it was a reminder that budget TVs sometimes trade flawless performance for bargain pricing. So keep your patience handy. Before you rush to the final verdict, here's a little humor to brighten things up. Why did the TV go to therapy? Because it had too many issues with its screen personality. And here's another. If your TV starts talking to you, don't worry, it's just object tracking its feelings. Okay, enough dad jokes. But seriously, product clarity matters. Okay, to sum up the Samsung F6000 32-inch. It's a solid choice if you're on a budget and want basic Full HD picture quality packed with premium tech buzzwords like HDR, Samsung Knox, and Tizen OS. However, the HDR and sound features don't always deliver a wow factor, and the smart TV functionalities come with strings attached to Samsung's ecosystem and account sign-ins. It's not perfect, but you get a lot of bang for your $177.99 buck, especially if you're upgrading from an older HD TV or want a secondary set for a bedroom or kitchen. But here's the twist that might surprise you. Despite some flaws, the Samsung F6000 is actually better than many cheaper TVs out there, especially for those who care about a secure smart experience and access to loads of content without subscriptions. If you know its limits and don't expect flagship-grade HDR or Dolby Atmos sound, it can be a valuable daily driver. So, if you want an affordable, stylish 32-inch TV that checks most boxes with some compromises, this could be your new best friend. Still undecided? Think about what matters most to you. Are you after blazing fast smart interface and premium picture quality, or do you prefer security and content variety? Because here's the secret. No matter how tech-savvy a TV gets, it should first make you happy with what you watch. And for many, the Samsung F6000 achieves exactly that. It shows your favorite shows in rich colors, lets you stream easily, and keeps your digital life a bit safer. If you want the best price for the Samsung F6000 32-inch, check out the link in the description below. It will take you directly to Amazon, where you can glimpse current deals, detailed specs, and customer reviews. Plus, if you're like me and enjoy a good bargain without sacrificing too much quality, this model might just be your sweet spot. So, don't buy Samsung F6000 32-inch blindly. Watch, compare, and decide with all the facts in hand. But if you want an affordable smart TV that ticks most of the right boxes and blends form with function, it's worth considering. Just keep those software updates handy and maybe a soundbar for movie nights. Sound good? Great. Now go ahead and click that link. Your new TV could be just a few clicks away from lighting up your living room. And remember, sometimes a little imperfection makes a product perfectly affordable. Happy watching.